Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition show where I preview the 2023-24 La Liga season, which begins tomorrow. There are 20 teams. If you finish between first or fourth, you qualify for the Champions League group stage. If you come in fifth, you qualify for the Europa League group stage. If you come in sixth, you qualify for the Conference League playoff round. 7th through 17th, you're safe in the league. But the bottom three, 18, 19, and 20, you get relegated to the Segunda Division. So, without further ado, here we go with my predictions. Winning the league this year, I have Barcelona. I mean, come on. If Barcelona doesn't win this league, it's a big shock. They get a lot of their players back. They get some good transfers coming in. Ilkay Gundogan of Man City among them. But they do lose some players, Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets to Inter Miami as they went to join Lionel Messi. They lose Frank Casile to Al Ali in the Saudi Arabian League. But obviously the big striker, Robert Lewandowski, is back, obviously. He's the best. They have on this team. They have Usami Dembele back on the team. Ansu Fati. Rafinha, who was good last year. Pedri's still there. Sergio Roberto, obviously, he's their captain. He means so much to that team. And Ousmane Dembele is still around as well. So they have a lot of talent on this team, and it'd be shocking if they do not come in first place. In second, I have Real Madrid. Real Madrid is a team that is also very talented, and they do have some important pieces coming back. Obviously, they do lose Karim Benzema to the Saudi Pro League, which is not great for them. But Vinicius Jr. is still around. Nacho, their captain, is still around. They still have Rodrigo. They do have a lot of their other guys as well. And they do have some good transfers coming in too. Antonio Blanco of Aveles, Rainer of Girona, Joselu of Espanyol, Fran Garcia of Real Vallecano. So they do have some guys coming in, which is good for them, but I still think that this team is a force to be reckoned with its depth. Coming in third, I have Villarreal. Villarreal is a really talented team. And by the way, I should go over how each team did last year. So Villarreal last year, 5th in the Liga, Copa del Rey round of 16, Conference League round of 16. Barcelona last year won the Liga, semifinals of Copa del Rey, and then they won the Supercopa de España. UEFA Champions League, they made group stage, and UEFA Euro League, they lost in the knockout round. Of the postseason. And Real Madrid last year, 2nd in the Liga, won Copa del Rey, runners-up of the Supercopa de España, Champions League semifinals. They won the UEFA Super Cup, and they won the FIFA Club World Cup last year. as well. So we're talking about Villarreal. They do have some players coming back that are important, but they do lose Nicholas Jackson to Chelsea, which we alluded to on yesterday's EPL podcast. Gerard Moreno still there. Jose Morales still there. They get Matteo Gabbi on a loan from Milan. Their captain still there, Raul Albiol, which is good. Alex Baena is still there, so they do have some guys still there. I mentioned some of the transfers they have coming in. Ramon Terratz of Girona, Dennis Suarez of Celta Vigo. So they have some guys coming in. And the other big loss they have is Samuel Chukwueze. But I do think the Villarreal is good enough to overcome these losses. Fourth place I have Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid is an interesting one. They are a club that is in a little bit of a transition boot as well. Last year, they came in third in the Liga, Copa del Rey quarterfinals, UEFA Champions League group stage. So the most important thing for them is Antoine Griezmann returns as their lead guy offensively. And Alvaro Morata is still around. Angel Correa is still there. So a lot of their best players are there. Yannick Carrasco. But they do lose Matt Doherty to Wolverhampton. Manu Sanchez to Celta de Vigo. Among others. And then a lot of transfers coming in. Kaldar Sayanuku of Leicester City, Cesar Azpilicueta of Chelsea. So they have some good guys coming in as well. So I do think Atletico Madrid is in good shape. In fifth, I have Real Sociedad. So I have Real Sociedad going to Europa. Last season, they came in fourth in the Liga. Copa del Rey, they made the quarterfinals. Europa League, round of 16. They do lose Alexander Soloth to Villarreal, which is a big loss, which I forgot to mention while talking about Villarreal. That's a big reason why I have Villarreal where I have them. So they do lose Soloth. Sociedad does. So they do have significant guys coming back. They have guys coming in from transfers, Andre Silva and Hamari Traore. Mikel Moreno, Ortiz Estrelando, Mikel Oyarzabal. So they have some good players coming back, which I think has them in decent shape. Coming in sixth, I have Real Betis. Real Betis is interesting. Last season, they came in sixth in La Liga. Round of 16 in Copa del Rey. Supercopa de España semifinals. Europa League round of 16. Borja Iglesias, their league goal scorer, is back, which is good for them. But this team isn't that deep. So a couple of their key guys are back, and then they are getting some transfers in. Jose Perez of Leicester City, Mark Roca of Leeds United, and a couple guys from Barcelona. They do lose Edgar Gonzalez to Almeria, which is a big loss. And they have a couple of guys retired and released as well that I think stinks for them. William Carvalho's still around. They have Juan Miranda. They have Nabil Fekir, their vice captain. They have a couple of guys on loan for Barcelona and Leeds United, respectively. So I don't think Real Betis will be bad. 7th, I have Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo is a very interesting club. Last season, they came in 13th in La Liga, round of 32 in Copa del Rey. Iago Aspas Juncal, their lead goal scorer from last year, returns. They have Manu Sanchez coming from Atletico Madrid, Carlos Perez from Roma, Jonathan Bamba of Lille. A lot of guys leaving, and Denis Suarez to Villarreal, Javi Galan to Atletico Madrid, Gabriel Fernandez to UNAM. So there's some turnover on this roster as well. We talked about Aspas already. Gabriel Vega still around. So I think they'll be in okay shape. Coming in 8th, I have Mallorca. Mallorca a year ago, 9th in the Liga, round of 16 of Copa del Rey. Vedat Muriqi returns for them, which is a big deal. They have some guys out on loan. Brian Kufri and NYCFC and Leo Roman at Oviedo. Transfers in Manu Morales of Villarreal's the big one coming in. They lose Lee Kang-in to PSG, which is a pretty big loss. But the good news for Mallorca, we talked about Muriqi returning, but the team really isn't deep outside of Muriqi. Danny Rodriguez, Pablo Mafio, Jaime Costa, Antonio Rio, the captain. So, yeah, this team I don't think is very deep. Coming in 9th, I have Osasuna. Osasuna a year ago, 7th in La Liga, runners-up of Copa del Rey. So, Chimi Alva's back. Ante Budimir is back, which is good for them. They do lose Adriane to Rayo Valencia. Coming in, they have Alejandro Catena of Rayo Valencia. Ironically enough. Coming in 10th in the league, I have Athletic Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao, 8th in the Liga, Copa del Rey to make the semifinals. Oyan Tarapu comes back. And Inake Williams comes back as well. So those are two things that are big deals for them. Their team's pretty good. I like their captains. They do lose Oyer Zaraga to Udinese, which is a loss for them, though. In 11th, I have Getafe. Getafe, last season, 15th in the Liga, round of 32 of Copa del Rey, so I think we'll see improvement from Getafe. NS Unal, more importantly, is back. They have a stacked squad. Dujen is captain. They have some guys coming in from Real Sociedad. and Real Madrid on loan. Damian Suarez, the vice captain, he's pretty good. But they do have guys out on loan, which they should be getting back. And they have other transfers coming in. Kiko Casilla of Leeds United, Joamni Latasa of Real Madrid, Gonzalo Villar of Roma. So this team could be better than expected. 12th, I have Granada CF. Granada CF, I think, will surprise some people in this league. And they were in the Segunda Division last year. They came in first, so they got in. And then they made the second round of Copa del Rey. Something important for them is Murdo Uzni returns. He's their lead guy in terms of goal scoring. Jesus Vallejo comes over for Real Madrid. Their captain's still there, Victor Diaz. Jorge Molina retired. That's not great for them. But I do think that Granada will avoid the bottom fairly easily. 13th, I have Sevilla. Sevilla last season, 12th in the Liga, Copa del Rey to quarterfinals, made the group stage of UEFA Champions League, and then they won the Europa League, which is crazy. And I think that's how they got to the Champions League. What's important for Sevilla is that Yusuf and Nesri is still around for them. Jesus Navas is their captain. Fernando is a good third captain. Ivan Rakitic is the vice captain. They have some good transfers coming in. Oscar of Celta Vigo among them. And then they do lose Alex Telles to Man United on a loan return, which isn't great. And Jose Angel Camora goes to Getafe, which is a loss for them. Coming in 14th, I have Rael Valenciano. So this squad last year, 11th in the Liga, Copa del Rey round of 32. Easy Palazon returns as their lead goal scorer. Oscar Trejo is their captain. And I don't think this team is that deep, personally. They do get some good transfers coming in, Alfonso Espino and Aradane. And then they lose some guys too. Sante Comensana, Alejandro Catina to Villarreal and Osasuna respectively, and then Fran Garcia to Real Madrid. Coming in 15th, I have Las Palmas. I think Las Palmas is going to surprise some folks this year too. They came in second in Segunda, so they got promoted. Came in to the second round of Copa del Rey. So in terms of their lead goal scoring, so Mark Cardona back, Sandro Ramirez back, and Jonathan Vieira Ramos back as well. So Las Palmas is in pretty good shape, and they really do have a nice roster as well. Pagino, we can't forget about him. Omiki Mafulu, the vice captain, as well. They have some good transfers coming in. Javi Munoz of Eibar. They do lose some guys too, but and then they get Julian Araujo from Barcelona as a loan-in until the end of the season. So that's very interesting as well. Coming in 16th, I have Girona. So I have Girona avoiding the bottom and staying in the league. They came in 10th last year. Copa del Rey, second round. But their big loss, Tati Castellanos, is now in Serie A, Lazio. So that is a big loss for that team. They get Jan Cotto from Man City. Their captains are still around, which is good. And some good transfers coming in too. Next, 17th, I have Alaves. So I have Alaves avoiding the bottom as well. Segunda, they came in third. Copa del Rey around the 16th. So Luis Rioja, their lead goal scorer, returns, and he's their captain. I just don't think this team is very deep. Nicolas Maris comes in from Almeria, and Ander Guevara comes in from Real Sociedad. And they have a couple transfers out as well. All right, first team in the bottom. 18th, I have Cadiz going back down to Segundo. Cadiz is a very weak roster. Last year, 14th in the Liga, first round of Copa del Rey. So they do lose Theo Banganda, but they still have Gonzalo Esconde, which is good. But Jose Mari's still around, Alex Fernandez still around. They have a couple guys on loans that they could rely on. 19th, I have Valencia, so I have them going back down to Segunda. Last season, 16th in La Liga, quarterfinals of Copa del Rey, and in the Supercopa de España, they made the semifinals. So they lose Justin Colaver to the Premier League, which is a big loss, and then they lose Samuel Lino to Atletico Madrid. So their two top scorers from last year are gone. Jose Gaia's still around, which is good. He's their captain. A couple of transfers in, but their losses are bigger deals than their adds, and that's why I have them dropping this year. And then at the bottom of the league, I have Almeria. Almeria last season, 17th in La Liga, Copa del Rey first round. So they lose El Bail Torre to Atalanta in the Italian league, which is a pretty big loss. Serdan Babic's their captain. He's still around. They get Edgar Gonzalez from Almeria and Luis Suarez of Marseille. And then they lose Nicola Maras to Alaves. So that's their transfer situation. So that's it for where I have everybody. So again, to the UEFA Champions League, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Villarreal, and Atletico Madrid. To UEFA Euro, Real Sociedad, in the Conference League, Real Betis. So there you have it for my 2023-24 Spanish La Liga season predictions. So next up, we will do the French League One season prediction. So I don't know if I'll drop that tonight or early tomorrow morning.